Alright, so here's the serpentine belt for Ford Ranger. So this one is one without AC, 2.3 liter. So I'm going to be changing my belt. I originally changed the belt in I think it was at 90,000 miles. Now the car has 175,000 miles, so about time I change it. So you only need one tool when you change the belt. Basically, you just need a look at it. So right here, you just need a 3/8 drive wrench, and you basically plug it into where the belt tensioner is, and just basically move it towards the passenger side. This takes the tension off of the belt, and you could slip the belt out, and that's it. Let's see if I can get a different angle. Let's see if I can get a different angle here. Let's see. That's not good. I can't see nothing there. Oops. On this side. Let's see. I hope you guys can see that. Hopefully you guys can see that. Alright, so with the belt, with the your wrench, to basically unhook the belt. Once you unhook the belt, you can let go of the tensioner. Right. So the tensioner. So let's pull it out. All right. So once you got it pulled out, you actually look at the condition of the belt outside and see how it is. This belt is actually still pretty good. I think it's still in pretty good shape. So these belts, depending on where you get your info from, some belts they say, oh, change it every 60,000 miles. Some belts they say 100,000 miles or so, around 100,000 miles. That's usually I usually change it around 80 or 90,000 miles, so kind of halfway in between. Halfway in between. Between the two. So obviously I got a motorcraft. Obviously I got a motorcraft. Which is a Ford brand. So I got an OE brand. I actually got this on Rock Auto. Rock Auto is cheaper. If you go to the dealership, this thing will. Rock Auto cost me, how much did this belt cost? I think this belt cost about $20 at Rock Auto. If I went to the dealership, this belt would have probably cost at least $50, maybe $60. But anyways, so here's a new belt. You should always put the new belt up against the old belt and kind of stretch them both out and see if they're basically the same length. So they are the same length, basically the same dimensions. So that's good there. So again, here's my new belt right here. Where's the old belt? The old belt, everything is worn off. Like all the labeling, like the new belt. You see all the labeling here. I don't see the labeling. I can't even remember. This is a when I replace this, if I use the Motorcraft belt or not, or I use some other brand. Oh wait a minute, I see the labeling right there, or a little bit of it, what's left over. Most of it's faded, it's gone. So anyways, so here's a new belt. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this on, and I'm gonna probably keep this old belt as a backup just in case, because you never know, shit happens. You should have since this belt is still in pretty good condition, you should have a belt as a spare. Just again, just a sort of a just in case scenario, because shit does happen. So that's a good idea right there, I think. So let me put this back into the package here. Let's put that back. It's kind of bulky. Let's see if I can make it into threes. Get a little bit less bulk. Like that. There's not too much of a bend on the belt. I don't think it is. But yeah, I think that's a little bit neater, a little bit more tidy. A little bit neater, a little tidier. Okay. Alright, so let's get this new belt in place here. So obviously the belt has one side is smooth and the other side is ribbed. So the ribbed side is on the inside, the smooth side is the outside, basically. Let's get this back in here. Back into the oops. Okay. So how you put this on is on your your pulleys. You see pulleys with ribs and pulleys without ribs. So obviously the pulleys, or should be obvious anyways, the pulley with the ribs is the inside of the belt. The pulley without the ribs is outside of the belt. So I'm gonna see where I could start. I can start right here, where we are at, where the camera end is at. Oops. Keep on knocking the camera lens. That's the thing with this camera, is that every time you knock it, it's a gimbal. It's a gimbal camera. Every time you knock on it, it goes out of whack and it doesn't go back into position. Especially if you knock it kind of, a good knock on it. Usually when you have a very light knock on it, usually it's okay. So make sure the ribs seat into each other. It's kind of tall. Might want to get like a little stool or something to stand on so you can see a little better. Which I just did right now. Let me move this wrench out of the way. Alright, so let's see. So this is just a blank pulley, I think. No, I feel some resistance. No, actually, no. This is the this first one right here is the power steering. This one is the water pump pulley. And obviously the fan, the one all the way at the bottom with the rib, is the crank. And this one over here is just the idler, meaning nothing. Over here is the alternator. And obviously the tensioner. So I got it. Oh, come on, get up there. Here, as you go all the way around here, remember, anytime there's a rib, that's where it hooks into. And when there's no rib, that's where you run it, so that way it's space here. Shoot, the camera's kind of in the way too. Okay. Oops. Dang it. Camera. Keep on knocking the camera over. Keep on knocking the camera over. Okay, I'm gonna knock the camera over again. Let's see. Rib. This side. So. Put the ribs in there. Wrench falling down. Okay, so let's see. Now we just need to get the tensioner. Some people will use like a socket wrench for this, or ratcheting socket wrench. I'm using a non-ratcheting one, basically a breaker bar. So that way I don't have to play around with that the sloppiness of it. Not arm straight. Arm straight. I'm not getting enough slack there. Let's see, make sure all my ribbing is in place. That's in place. The bottom crank one's in place. It's kind of hard to tell. It feels like it's in place. Okay, that feels like it's in place. Okay. So it's in place. This up again. I think it's in place. Screws all the way. Okay, I got it. That's the thing with a new belt is that it's always, because the belt's like, as far as its tightness, it's pretty much exact. When you with the tensioner, the pulley tensioner, when you relax it as the most that you can, to give the belt as much slack as possible, the belt it will just fit on there because it's it's a new belt. It hasn't been stretched out yet. But as they get a little bit used, they get stretched out a little bit, and they, basically they get more slack. So when you take the tension off of the tensioner, it's easy to take the belt on and off when it's stretched out, because there's a little bit of slack. Whereas when a new belt there isn't. Okay, so everything looks like it's in right. Now all I need to do is basically start it up and make sure that it runs properly. Sounds smooth. There's no funny noises. There's not basically everything should be proper. So yeah, so this is a pretty quick, easy job. So you saw that the hardest part was me getting the belt on, because it's very tight, and this it's the slack It's just enough to go around the pulleys. Yep, everything looks good. That's it. I should actually start it up. Just so you have to see it spinning. Let's do that. Let's start it up. Let's get the camera out of the way. Hopefully it doesn't. The camera here doesn't fall over like it did earlier. A little bit. That. All right. Let's see what's my keys. Alright, so everything spinning smoothly. There's no noise. Everything's good. Yeah, everything's good. So that's it. That's how easy it is to do a serpentine belt. And this one, you know, has no AC. Normally, if you had an AC, it would be right here, so it would loop around the AC one as well. And if you're not sure how to loop the belt, at least on a Ford, lots of cars usually have this. So on this particular car, it actually has a little thing here that tells you, you know, how the belt is ran. Yeah. So it tells you how the belt's ran. You know, from having the 4 liter, 3 liter, or the 2.3. So mine is a 2.3. That's basically how it goes, like so. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching.